wanted to take a moment and show you our chicken coop. If you're a chicken person, there are all kinds of coops out there. It's amazing what people are using to make a chicken coop. We kind of went overboard. We kind of went a little too far with this thing, but we're proud of it, and everybody that sees it, they just go on and on about how cute it is, so I wanted to share it with you. First off, we've got our coop door. This is one of two coop doors that I have. I have one on one side and one on the other. This side is used if I want to burst a free range, then this door will be used. If I want them to stay in their pen, then we use the other coop door. But if you don't have an automatic chicken coop door opener yet, this is probably what you've got. Something like this, where the door goes up and down. It's a manual lift. You got to remember to do it every morning, every night. And if you're interested, we'll set you up with a automatic door opener here. So I wanted to show you that. As we come around, we tried to make our building as authentic looking as possible. And we knew we needed gutters because we didn't want water splashing down around the building and making a mess around it. So we put gutters, just standard aluminum gutters, but then we wrapped them in pine, yellow pine. Even our downspout here that goes down into the ground is wrapped in yellow pine, and then it goes out to a buried pipe that carries the water away from the coop so that moisture doesn't build up around it. Okay, and here we are at the front of the coop, and one of the things that we did is, the way that we built this is we wanted to be able to get to our eggs without having to go into the house every time we wanted to get our eggs. And so these are the egg laying boxes. As you can see, there's 8 of them here. We have 28 birds in here, and they share the boxes. And it's just a basic matter of lifting it up, reaching in and grabbing the eggs. Of course, the hens don't normally sit right there. They'll get off of their eggs after they lay them. And then, because our lid was a little bit heavy, went to Menards and bought some slow release springed hinges there that takes a little bit of the weight off, so that when it closes it doesn't hurt anybody. But it's still heavy enough that a raccoon or another animal can't lift that thing up. And if you are concerned about that, you can always put just a simple little hook latch on there. And you can see our windows, and the windows have a screen. We wanted the windows because we wanted the building to look authentic, but we also wanted to make sure that when it was ventilated, that air was going through, that an animal could get up here and climb in. And so we've got screen on the inside of that, and I'll show you. Actually, it's just I think they call it the 1/4 inch. Some people call it rabbit hutch wire, but just a 1/4 inch wire mesh. And I'll show you how we did that here in a moment as well. I wanted to take just a moment and show you our pinned area. What we've got here is, these were 10-foot sections that somebody had given me, and I believe it's just like a dog kennel fencing, that you put them together and you can make a dog kennel. And what we did is we used them for our entire pin area here, went around it. And I was a little concerned because we have mink in the area, and our farmer neighbor, all 25 of his chickens were killed in one night by a mink. And mink can get through these small little holes in the fence. And so what we did is we went around with the standard chicken wire, kind of wrapped this fence with the chicken wire as well. And so the dog kennel fencing just kind of supports the chicken wire. And then that way nothing can get through there. One other thing we did I want to share with you is that when I put my fencing down, I didn't just put it in the ground, but we dug a trench about 1.5 feet deep, and then we took some wire and we laid it in there, patted it down, and then we bent it up and set our fencing right on top of that. That way a coyote, which we have in our area, different animals can't dig down and go underneath the fence. It's completely, they'd have to dig down about 2 feet before they were able to get to where the wire is at, where the wire is not there anymore. So nonetheless, I wanted to show you that. And you can see the top here is just rebar. We took a rebar and bent it and stuck it down in a hole, and then we wrapped our chicken wire on the top because we have hawks, and the hawks can come down and grab them out of there, as well as the owls. And so that's how we protected the top. That way, when I'm not home and the chickens are out here in their pen area, I know that they're 100% safe. Okay? And you can see I also gave them a little, just real quick, just threw some 2x4s together and made them a little perching thing so that they can perch. They have water out there so that in the daytime, if it gets too hot, they've got water, and I know they've got everything that they need. All right, well, we've got happy chickens. And I want to take just a quick moment and show you what we've done in here. I'm still experimenting with the perching. I found that just a simple board just seems kind of awkward to me. I mean, I wouldn't want to have to sit on a single board all night long. And so what we did is we gave them one, and then behind it is another, and behind that is another, and behind that is another. So every 6 inches they're apart. That gives the manure, you know, the manure can still fall down. They have a place to put their feet to perch, but then they can also rest their back ends or whatever on top of these. And so far the chickens seem pretty happy with that. And we gave them another board down here to hop up on in order to get up on their perches. This is about 2 feet. It's kind of quite a jump, and they can all do it. And the reason we did that is because we didn't want raccoons being able to climb up there. So they're pretty safe once they get up there. And you can see here I had to build one little girl a ladder. Even when we put the perches down low, when these were down low, she was never able to climb up and down that perch. And so, needless to say, I had to build her a ladder, and she has gotten a little bit better, a little more agile sitting up here, a little more comfortable. And I think I've seen her jumping up on the perches on her own. So I'm about ready to take that ladder away. It was just there for training for her, I guess. And you can see we've got lighting. You know, you don't need to have all of this stuff, but we put it in. We put lights here so that if we want to heat it in the wintertime when it gets really cold, we can just put some red bulbs in there and heat it up, okay? And what else? Here's their door that they go in and out. And I wanted to show you this. This is the wiring around the windows. And this is just a cheap little window that we bought at Menards with just a screw, I think, is all we have in the bottom to create the hinging effect. And this is just a basic latch. And what my carpenter did was he took the wire, stapled it, kind of cut it to the size, and then he bent it, kind of bowed it, so that the window can never open any farther than that. And you can see the latch here. As I say, it just kind of, you can latch it so it stays in place. I've actually used it to, if I want to close the windows a little bit, I can still just latch that over, and it's locked in place. And we actually had a raccoon trying to get in here the other night. We saw his footprints all over the outside of the windows, but he couldn't get past that wiring. And that was just a little bit of genius on my carpenter's part. One other thing I wanted to show you is our cupola. It's an actual working cupola, and you probably saw it on the outside of the building here a moment ago. We have holes drilled up there. I think they were 3/4 inch, half-inch, or 3/4 inch holes all along the top, so that air can vent out. This is actually a working cupola where when you slide that over, you determine the amount of ventilation that your coop is going to have, and that works really, really well. And that way we're able to close up the windows and still have the right kind of ventilation going in. And then lastly, I wanted to show you the nesting boxes. You know, like anybody's nesting boxes, I suppose, but that's where the girls lay their eggs, and that's where it all starts. Oh, hey, one last thing I want to show you, and that is our door. This is my door installed, okay? And if you're interested looking at the automatic chicken coop doors that we offer, this is mine installed, and I have mine on a timer. You can also set it on a photo eye that will close in the evening and open in the morning. I'm a little worried about doing that with mine, in case of a storm, and in case it gets dark too early or something, they'd be locked out. But here's my door, and you can see flawlessly goes up and down. And the girls, when the girls are up on their perches, it closes, and so there's never a problem. And there's never a problem with that door hitting the chicken. You can see the door. That door only weighs, 2-3 pounds. It's not going to hurt them. If it did touch him, they'd jump right out of the way. But even if it did come down on him, it wouldn't hurt him. And that's our door.